Up and dancing up and down the stairs. I love it. When Stearns gets back from the bathroom, we'll start.
I'm sorry?
When Stearns gets back from the bathroom,
sure.
we'll start. Did you find someone to light the towels?
I did.
Great. I'm ready if you are. All 30 of us.
Good morning. Good morning. Wow, it's so quiet in here, and we were playing Stevie Wonder. Come on. Please, good morning. My name is Stearns Matthews. My pronouns are he, him, and I am our Director of Music Ministries here at Unitarian Society of Germantown. Please rise and body your spirit for our opening hymn, There Is More Love Somewhere.
Good morning. Oh, I like that response. Welcome to the Unitarian Society of Germantown. My name is Mimi Ravinas, and my pronouns are she, her. We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation seeking to support one another as we grow our souls and affirm that another world is possible. We celebrate the gift of life each week here at Sunday service, and we are so honored that you have joined us this morning. No matter your gender, your race, your sexual orientation, your class, family structure, employment status, or your health, know that you are welcome here just as you are. As Unitarian Universalists, we are diverse in our spiritual beliefs. Some of us are atheists, some are agnostics, some believe in God, but all of us put love at the center of our lives. I'm so glad. All are invited to join us in that common purpose, and also for lunch after the service today, when we will share pizza and salad. For our newcomers and visitors, we hope you'll find your way to the welcome table, where a lay leader can help answer questions or set you up with a name tag. Being able to greet one another by name is vital for how we build our community. If you came with children today, grab a children's spiritual development, we call it CSD, guide from the welcome table. Also, there is a nursery for infants and crawlers at the back of the sanctuary, and just down the hall through this door over here is the wiggle room for toddlers, staffed and full of toys. Please know that the main way to find out about this community and what we are doing each and every week is to subscribe to our newsletter, The Communicator. In other words, I'm not going to tell you everything going on up here this morning. Scan the QR code in your order of service to add your name to our distribution list. Read it each week to find out how you can plug in and also how you can help out. I am going to list a few announcements today. After service, you can meet Reverend Hannah in her office to ask questions and introduce yourself. If you are a newcomer thinking about getting more involved or have questions about membership, this is a great time to meet her and just have a friendly, low-key chat. The Immigration Justice Group will meet in the Dascom room. It's upstairs off the dining room. Come and get involved with the work of protecting our neighbors. On February 1st, we will have our next new member ceremony. If you've been coming for a while and are feeling ready to call this place your spiritual home, ready to put down roots and settle in, we invite you to participate that day. Mark your calendars and look in your order of service for more information. And now, as we deepen into worship, I ask that you please silence your cell phones, but not your children. Their sounds are welcome here.
Good morning. I'm still learning about this community, and now I am learned that you are all very afraid to drive in the snow. Yeah, the people here are not. I'm talking to you online. All of you on the internet. Actually, I do know that there's a bit of a watch party happening at Cathedral Village right now. Someone texted me, so we can say hello to all of them, yeah. They all got together to watch together, so that's nice. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Reverend Hannah Capaldi. I use she, her pronouns, and I serve this congregation as its minister. Our call to worship today is from the Reverend Gretchen Haley. It starts here. In this moment, in this breath, you feel rising in your chest. This beat building between us, the healing, the hunger, the hope, the courage, the calling, the commitment, the drawing out of a new day. It begins now in the imagination. In this story we weave together, this song we sing, this prayer we bring into being from our hearts to our lips, from our hands to our life, our shared life. It starts here with praise and thanksgiving, forgiveness, and this humble, centering confession that we could be wrong. This promise that we make to keep learning, to keep trying, to keep our sense of humor, to keep close. This knowing that we are all in this together. So come, let us begin in our worship together.
I want to invite Derry Clark to light our chalice today. the symbol of our shared Unitarian Universalist faith. We join with congregations around the country and the world in our ritual lighting. Please read with me the words printed in your order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Zoe Johnston. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm your Director of Spiritual Development. And this is our time for all ages. I feel like we might have a small crew today, but if all of our kids and our young ones want to come up, we're going to read a story together. Let's see, and I'll sit right here, and you all can get super close if you want to look at the pictures, okay? And then for everybody else, we have our pictures on the projector. Okay. There you go. Can everybody see the pictures from where they are? Yep. Perfect. Are those Spider-Man boots? Those are awesome. I know everybody has some good, cozy winter clothes, some colorful jackets and hats. So our story today is called, What Do You Do with an Idea? And while we're reading it, I want you to think about any ideas that you have had. Maybe this is a story you've had, or an idea for an artwork piece, or maybe an idea for a game that you've played. Any type of idea that you've had. So while we're reading it, I'm going to have you think about that, and at the very end, I'm going to ask you about if you've had any ideas like this. Okay, just this way you sit down so that the people behind you can see the pictures. There we go. So what do you do with an idea? One day, I had an idea. Where did it come from? Why is it here? I wondered. What do you do with an idea? At first, I didn't think much of it. It seemed kind of strange and fragile. I didn't know what to do with it, so I just walked away from it. I acted like it didn't belong to me. But it followed me. I worried what others would think. What would people say about my idea? I kept it to myself. I hid it away and didn't talk about it. I tried to act like everything was the same as it always was before my idea showed up. It's an egg. What do you think about that? Do you think of an egg being a good metaphor for an idea? Like something that's about to hatch? Edith, you don't think so? Yeah. What would your idea look like?
Oh, it's cracking.
It is cracking. Do you have a better idea metaphor? Kai?
My idea metaphor would be sand. Because
Sand.
that's, it's like sort of drifting, but you can have it, and you can also turn sand into glass.
It's drifting, but you can hold it. Ash, what's your idea? What would your idea look like?
Making it large, yeah. Not an animate object.
Not an animate object. That's a good way to put it. Justice?
It walks in the water.
It walks in the water? That'd be an awesome idea. Okay. But Tony, do you have an idea?
When you go into water with frogs, they kind of catch you sometimes in the water.
Yeah. Frogs catch themselves in the water sometimes. Okay, I'm going to keep reading now. Okay? But I like the ideas that are happening. Exactly. But there was something magical about my idea. I had to admit, I felt better and happier when it was around. It wanted food. It wanted to play. Actually, it wanted a lot of attention. It grew bigger, and we became friends. I showed it to other people, even though I was afraid of what they would say. I was afraid that if other people saw it, they would laugh at it. I was afraid they would think it was silly. And many of them did. They said it was no good. They said it was too weird. They said it was a waste of time and that would never become anything. Has anybody ever told? It is mean. What if somebody told you that they didn't like your idea? It doesn't feel very good.
I've been told that so many
You've been told that? What do you do when that situation happens?
I most of the time think they're right.
You think that
My ideas are most of the time insane.
your ideas are most of the time, and I think you have a lot of good ideas, and you do sometimes catch me off guard with your ideas during Time for All Ages. But I think that they're good. They're good ones. They're fantastical, and I like them. At first, I believed them. I actually thought about giving up on my idea. I almost listened to them. But then I realized, what do they really know? This is my idea, I thought. No one knows it like I do. And it's okay if it's different and weird and maybe a little crazy. I decided to protect it, to care for it. I fed it good food, I worked with it, I played with it, but most of all, I gave it my attention. So that egg is still getting bigger. My idea grew and grew, and so did my love for it. I built it a new house, one with an open roof where it could look up at the stars, a place where it could be safe to dream. Do you see the pizza blanket?
Yeah.
This is my favorite part of this book, was this pizza blanket. I liked being with my idea. It made me feel more alive, like I could do anything. It encouraged me to think big and then to think bigger. It shared its secrets with me. It showed me how to walk on my hands because it said it's good to have the ability to see things differently. I couldn't imagine life without it. Then, one day, something amazing happened. My idea changed right before my very eyes. It spread its wings, took flight, and burst into the sky. See, the egg is hatching, or breaking, or cracking. Cracking, one of the above. I don't know how to describe it, but it went from being here to being everywhere. It wasn't just a part of me anymore. It was now a part of everything. And then I realized what you do with an idea. You change the world. The end. So now that we're at the end of what you do with an idea, I'm curious, what ideas have you all had recently? Faye, what idea have you had? You had an idea for a poem? Did you write it down? So you listened to your idea. Kai, what idea have you had recently?
I think that's sort of an odd metaphor for an idea because a lot of the things didn't really make sense for what you would do with an idea. You did.
I think it's about letting an idea grow even when people tell you not to, and letting it hold it with lots of love inside of yourself, and that way eventually it's so big. Because I'm going to ask a very leading question. Is there anybody in history whose idea has made them famous?
Michigan.
Perhaps somebody that we're celebrating this weekend. Tony?
When something like flashes in the sky, it like hatches a little bit.
Yeah.
It turns into something, but we can't understand what it is.
Yeah, when something hatches in the sky, we can't really understand what it is. And sometimes that's like our ideas. We don't fully understand what they are before they happen.
Or
Or on the moon. Yep. The moon is a good place for ideas. Okay, last thing. Ash,
Why hasn't anybody invented the human catapult yet?
why hasn't anybody invented the human catapult yet? I feel like they might have. Have they? Okay. Kaya's saying,
The largest humans, I don't think they have.
Kaya's saying yes. Ash is wondering. We're going to look it up after we leave. And with that, we are going to head out to our classes, and they're going to sing us out with Go Now in Peace.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. For decades, Willy Wonka has invited us to embrace made-up worlds, to join him where rivers run with chocolate and trees deliver sublime sweets. As a child, I heeded his call and created many imaginary worlds. I wanted to be a Broadway star. Already socially conscious, I, of course, planned to be a fabulous actress and then use my celebrity status to be a spokesperson for important causes. I had a plan. The only bump was the kind of life that level of fame would bring. Though young, I was very clear. I would need some normal life and privacy. Not a problem, I told anyone that would listen. I would simply build an underground city with secret entrances at multiple points above ground. 1 minute, the paparazzi would be flashing photos. The next, I'd be strolling my greenhouse tunnels, swimming in my pool, and going to the movies with the select group of friends who were allowed to know my secret. Pure imagination, indeed. As we get older, do we turn to our imaginations less easily or readily than we once did? It could be. As a professional charged with helping teams work more effectively together, I certainly see this all the time. A leader complains the team isn't innovative. Almost always, I find that the team members respond to each other's new ideas by immediately pointing out why they won't work. And even just last year, our own USG youth based their entire service on the theme of imagination, inviting us to return to a more childlike engagement with imagination. So that's one answer, that we simply don't use our imaginations as often once we're adults. But 5 years ago, an experience changed my perspective on that. I had a breast cancer scare. A mammogram came back with a concerning image. Only way to find out was a biopsy. The 5 weeks it took from those initial results to getting the results of the biopsy were excruciating. I pushed for the fastest appointments I could get. I followed up with doctors' offices. I Googled. And I imagined. I imagined myself hearing terrible news. I imagined myself not being able to work because of treatment. I imagined my children's sad and anxious lives as they worried for their mom. I imagined the family grieving me and having to go on without mom. And I felt the emotions I imagined would accompany that reality. Until a dear friend made a suggestion. She said, "Is there anything else you can or should be doing about this right now?" I said, "No, the only thing I can do is wait." She said, "So while you wait, why not imagine yourself getting good results and being just fine? And there it was, theory blown. I was using my imagination just as much as I had been when I envisioned my underground city. But it wasn't secret entrances, private pools, and fun movie theaters. It was pain and heartbreak and despair. Willy Wonka invited me to pure imagination. We just hadn't covered the possibility that pure imagination could create things other than chocolate rivers and sublime treats. That imagination could create things other than happy places. We hadn't covered that imagination was a tool, and that, like any tool, intention mattered. Now that I understand that, what will I use my imagination for? This week, we share the plate with USG's Martin Luther King Day of Service. Tomorrow, all are invited to participate in this massive day of community service, now in its 29th year. That's kind of a big deal. A variety of meaningful projects are up for offer to any and all volunteers who show up tomorrow, ready and willing to help. Doors open at 8 a.m. Hundreds of people will pass through our doors, and we will be providing them with the materials to help our neighbors and friends. Through our doors and providing them with the materials to help our neighbors and friends costs money. Please help us meet the moment with your generosity. Directions for giving via text can be found in your order of service. Cash and checks can be dropped in the plates as ushers pass by.
Some days glad, some days more than make you mad. Some days more than shine. When you see what's coming on down the line. Some days you say, no, not me, never. Some days you say, bless God forever. Some days you say, curse God and die. And the day comes when you wrestle with that lie. Some days tussle, then some days groan. Some days don't even leave a bone. Some days you hassle all alone. I don't know, sister, what I'm saying, nor do no man if he don't be praying. I know that love is the only answer, and the tightrope lover the only dancer. When the lover come off the rope today, the net which holds him is how we pray, and not to gods unknown, but to each other. The falling mortal is our brother. Some days leave, some days grieve, some days you almost don't believe. Some days believe you, some days don't. Some days believe you, and you won't. Some days worry, some days glad, some days more than make you mad. Some days more than shine. Witnesses coming on down the line. Witnesses coming on down the line.
Audacious faith in the future of man. Audacious faith in the. I accept this award today with an abiding faith in America and an audacious faith in the future of mankind. I refuse to accept despair as the final response to the ambiguities of history. I refuse to accept the idea that the isness of man's present nature makes him morally incapable of reaching up for the eternal oughtness that forever confronts him. I refuse to accept the idea that man is mere flotsam and jetsam in the river of life, unable to influence the unfolding events which surround him. I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war that the bright daybreak of peace and brotherhood can never become a reality. I refuse to accept the cynical notion that nation after nation must spiral down a militaristic stairway into the hell of nuclear annihilation. I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word in reality. This is why right, temporarily defeated, is stronger than evil triumph. I believe that even amid today's mortar bursts and whining bullets, there is still hope for a brighter tomorrow. I believe that wounded justice, lying prostrate on the blood-flowing streets of our nations, can be lifted from this dust of shame to reign supreme among the children of men. I have the audacity to believe that peoples everywhere can have 3 meals a day for their bodies, education and culture for their minds, and dignity, equality, and freedom for their spirits. I believe that what self-centered men have torn down, men of a senate can build up. I still believe that one day mankind will bow before the altars of God and be crowned triumphant over war and bloodshed and nonviolent redemptive goodwill, proclaim the rule of the land. And the lion and the lamb shall lie down together, and every man shall sit under his own vine and fig tree,
It's really nothing like hearing his own words and his own voice. I invite you to a posture of prayer or meditation. To breathe in deeply, filling your lungs, to exhale completely. Feel yourself come into your body, come present to the moment. Our prayer today comes from Cole Arthur Riley, for those taught to believe in scarcity. Abundant God, remind us that there is enough for us. We are grateful that the earth we have been entrusted to care for is one of beauty and provision. We have all we need. Reveal the hypocrisy and corruption of the privileged. In a world of men who have more than it would ever be humanly possible to spend, we have let entire countries starve and thirst, often because we have stolen the resources of their own sacred lands. Protect us from the myth of scarcity sold to us by white capitalism, which tells us we must fight for scraps because there is not enough. Rid us of the lie that the only way to contentment and survival is to sacrifice our bodies in work and toil. Expose the deception at work in our financial systems and economic processes, and help us tell new stories of what business and compensation might look like in a just society. Give us an imagination for a culture that leverages its resources for the protection of the vulnerable, human, creature, and land. Convict the overprivileged and the wealthy to rend their own dignity from their possessions. And let those living in scarcity be reminded that there is enough for them, that there is always enough for all. Amen. I invite you to join me in singing while remaining seated. Precious Lord, take my hand.
I don't think so, honey, to the small time dreaming. We are literally in a moment as the empire is collapsing and our economy is dusting that, like we're all saying, it's time to go after your dreams.
Yeah.
There is no point carving out a small space on a sinking ship just for our survival. Now is the time to dream as big as the problems are. This is how we transform the world.
Yes! 10 and 30! 10 and 30! She's a writer. She's a poet. Said it in less words and more poignantly than we could ever.
From the writings of Adrienne Marie Brown. We are in an imagination battle. Trayvon Martin and Mike Brown and Renisha McBride and so many others are dead because in some white imagination, they were dangerous. Imagination has people thinking they can go from being poor to a millionaire as part of a shared American dream. Imagination turns brown bombers into terrorists and white bombers into mentally ill victims. Imagination gives us borders, gives us superiority, gives us race as an indicator of ability. I often feel I am trapped inside someone else's imagination, and I must engage my own imagination in order to break free. All organizing is science fiction. We are bending the future together into something we have never experienced, a world where everyone experiences abundance, access, pleasure, human rights, dignity, freedom, transformative justice, peace. We long for this. We believe it is possible.
In 1963, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. gave his most famous speech. Inspired by Mahalia Jackson's prompting, "Tell them about the dream, Martin." Dr. King gave his address in which he tells the hundreds of thousands of people gathered about his dream. A dream of a different America, a better America. Portions of this speech are probably etched into our brains and written on our hearts, so often do we hear it, particularly this time of year. It's been used in commercials, in history classrooms, in memes and cartoons, and chart-topping music. The fact that the piece of MLK history that I'm preaching today is from the I Have a Dream speech will cause many of my colleagues to roll their eyes. I myself am cringing a bit at this choice. Overplayed, cliche, trite, preach the more radical king, the lesser-known king. But in this moment, when many of us are weighed down by the events of the world, I'm reminded of how essential dreaming is, how fundamental and critical it is to our humanity and to our faith. Dreaming is essential to the work of social justice, and it is the cornerstone of religious life. Every mass social movement of the last 200 years has had people of faith at the center of it. Why, you ask? Because we are disciplined about dreaming, about imagining a world different than the one we currently inhabit. We understand that faith and dreaming are cousins, that to believe in something you can't yet touch or feel or see doesn't make it any less real, or less important, or less compelling. Dreaming is how we bend the future, how we maintain hope in the face of despair. Cole Arthur Riley writes, "Remember who benefits from our hopelessness." How we conjure up a vision of a world transformed, upended, built on the seeds of our dreams we laid in store all along the way. The spiritual discipline of dreaming tells us to maintain hope in that which feels impossible. Baldwin once wrote, "The impossible is the least we can demand." For Christians, a central theological pillar is the idea that a man, Jesus, overcame death, defied the single most unyielding fixed truth about being human. Jesus did the impossible, thereby inspiring millions who came after to live as he did. In the Nobel Peace Prize acceptance speech we just heard, MLK says he has the audacity to believe not just that each of us should have 3 meals a day and education and culture, but also that one day the lion shall lie down with the lamb. Outrageous dreams, audacious dreams. To be religious is to be disciplined about dreaming. The Jim Crow South, in which the bus boycotts of Alabama and the sit-ins at counters of North Carolina took place, had much in common with what we see playing out around us today. Unchecked vigilante groups roaming around enforcing their own version of justice, making us all subject to their whims and their mercies as they make their dream of a white supremacist state a reality. Anyone who gets in their way, subject to harassment, punishment, or even death. These were the conditions in which MLK and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference found themselves dreaming big, extravagant dreams where they could stay out past sundown in safety, where they could go to the polls and vote without a literacy test, where they could worship in peace without fear of being bombed or pulled over while driving and murdered for sport. Big, extravagant dreams that blew wide open the minds of those who had been hampered by a narrowed field of vision focused on survival, hampered by the endless onslaught of suffering, their hearts hardened over, hampered by their own deep-seated fear in giving up their comfort, their way of life, looking the other way and making excuses for the suffering of their neighbors. We find ourselves in all too similar conditions, and we need to be disciplined in our dreaming. Big, extravagant dreams that will blow open the minds of those we encounter. This is especially true for us white people. White dreaming, white imagination hasn't always been aligned with justice, aligned with dignity, putting love at the center of our biggest and most elaborate dreams. White dreams and white imaginations have often been at odds with the dreams of people of color in this country. Dreams that are at the expense of others' dignity and others' very survival. That's the thing about dreams. They belong to everyone. Everyone can dream. Do not fall asleep inside your enemy's dream, cautions John Edgar Wideman. Do not become comfortable, ignorant, blissfully unaware as your enemy's dreams take root and sprout up around you. Don't amputate your imagination in favor of what is fed to you. Don't shortcut your dreaming because it feels impossible or too big or too demanding. The dream is what keeps hope alive, what keeps faith alive, what stokes the fires of a radical revolution of values, something Dr. King advocated for over and over in his lifetime, a radical revolution of values. Our dreams need to match the intensity and the passion of our enemies' dreams. We are in a battle of imagination, writes Adrienne Marie Brown. Whose dreams, whose outlandish, preposterous imagining is going to take root in the next chapter of American history? How many of you feel the destabilization of today? How many of you feel the anxiety of the unprecedented nature of now? How many of you understand that when so much is at stake and so much is unknown, there are those who rush in to say, this is how it's going to go. But the truth is, it's all up for grabs, now more than ever. All still yet to be determined. Maintain a discipline of dreaming so that we might bend the future towards our vision. That sense of a tidal wave of change is our moment too. The sense that things are happening that have never happened before, that is the time to dream bigger. As the world is dust to dusting, as Tourmaline says, this is not the moment for small dreams. This is the time to drop into our moral imaginations and go wild. So we're going to dream together here, right now. We're going to take a small dream and we're going to build it bigger and bigger. Now is the chance to practice some courage. Do not be afraid. There are no bad ideas in dreaming, only small dreams that need to be blown up, only flickering imaginations that need to be stoked into something bigger. So, who has a dream? A small one. Give me something that you dream about.
I'm working on it right now, and I'm starting a small business that's called Caring Cuddling. People who have Parkinson's and other issues, we all need to touch each other, and that's what I'm called to do right now.
Who's got other dreams? Big dreams or small dreams? Yeah?
I want to become a feminist research psychologist to study discrimination in gender identity and perinatal mental health. And I also want to be able to buy a home for myself and my kids.
Okay, this is a good place to start. You want to buy a home for your kids and yourself. What if you were given a home? Sounds preposterous. Sounds outlandish. What if, when you became a mother, you were given keys to a house? So no one took home a baby to a place that wasn't safe. Who else has a dream? Who's got a small dream? We're going to blow them up. Evelyn, yeah?
That trans people's identities are respected, especially when you don't understand them.
Okay, let's blow it up. What if we didn't care? What if we didn't care? What if everybody was just free to be who they needed to be, to live a life that fulfilled them, that satisfied them, that gave them meaning and purpose and satisfaction? Sometimes I dream about a world where there is no coming out. Not needed. Who cares? Who cares? Who's got a dream? Let's blow it up. Barbara?
I do speak about this at every school board meeting. And not alone, the Philadelphia Alliance to Restore School Librarians. We're down to 2 in our school system, so they can read about Dr. King.
Okay, what? Let's blow it up. What if librarians made $1 million a year? What if the starting salary for a public school librarian was $1 million a year? What would that mean? What would that world look like? Outrageous, preposterous, insane. Battery on the, oh, no, okay, we're coming back a little bit. Anyone else have one? Yeah, Rick.
I have a dream that I could sing like Stearns. Blow that one up.
What if everyone, what if we sang more? What if we lived in a world where, first of all, singing wasn't something you had to be gifted at to do in front of people. We sang communally all the time. From the time you were born to the time you died. All you did was sing. Your voice would definitely be better. It definitely would be. You know, they say you lose the ability to find harmony, find pitch, if you're not exposed to it at an early age. If people don't sing in tune for you when you're little, it becomes harder and harder for you to access. So if every child was given ample opportunity to hear harmony, ample opportunity to hear communal singing, maybe you wouldn't be afraid about it. Maybe you just really feel it, Rick, and you get up there at that piano. Rick already feels it. Yeah. Okay, one more. Who's got one? It can be small. Yeah, Treva.
It's not small. I dream an end to racism and white supremacy.
And it feels impossible, but the impossible is the least we can demand. We don't stop just because it feels impossible. That's really the truth. That's the truth of being a people of faith. That's the truth of, oh, Andrea, you have one? Oh, did someone else have one more? Oh, okay. Did you have one more? Oh, yeah, I have one. Is that who you were pointing at, Andrea? Yeah, okay. Oh, you got called out, sorry.
I just want all the kids that I teach to read on grade level.
Yeah, librarians, $1 million a year. And teachers maybe make $1 million a year. Starting salary, teachers, $1 million a year. Neighborhood schools, fully funded. So class sizes are capped at a manageable amount. And you had time to spend with each of your children. Or their parents didn't work so hard, so they had time to read to them at night. And books were free. That'd be cool if books were free. Wouldn't have to worry about paying for them. This is the discipline of dreaming. You have to maintain a discipline of dreaming, especially now. Despair is a concession. Hope, dreaming, blowing open your own mind. Don't let them be small. Hemmed in by fear, by intimidation, by the press for survival. Keep your dreams big. So on this Martin Luther King Day, we can dream bigger than 3 meals a day for the body, culture and education for the mind. We can dream bigger than he was allowed to dream. And we stay disciplined in it, faithful to it. Knowing that the other side is dreaming big and they are better organized and they are more disciplined. And despair is a concession. So we'll stay dreaming. Maybe so, and amen. Okay, let us sing together. Rick, you want to lead? We'll all do it. We'll rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn, number 169, We Shall Overcome.
I would like to invite back up Derry Clark to extinguish our chalice now. Please join me in the words printed in your order of service or up on the screen. We extinguish our chalice, but the flame remains in us as we live into the mission of this congregation, building beloved community with compassion, service, and empowerment.
Maintain your disciplined dreaming, beloveds. That is the way we will honor the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King this year. And I will certainly preach on the radical king over and over again in weeks to come. But today, we remember how important it is to dream big, outlandish, preposterous dreams of million-dollar salaries for librarians, for a world free of racism, for homes given to new mothers for free. Big, preposterous dreams. If you haven't heard it yet this week, I love you. You are loved. Be well. Don't slip on the ice. I'll let you all know that I am headed to Minneapolis this week. I don't know how many of you are aware, but there's a national call for clergy to show up in Minneapolis. So yeah, I'll be there. Based on what I'm seeing and hearing from colleagues, there will probably be thousands of us going on the 22nd and the 23rd. So don't email me. And if you would like, I would love to, bring your prayers with me. I'd love to make you a part of it, whatever I do there. So I will find a way between now and when I leave on Thursday to gather up what you'd like for me to bring with me on behalf of all of you here in Philadelphia. So you are blessed. Go forth. Let's eat pizza.